Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Kectil YouTube channel. And welcome to today's interview with Wilfred, an inspiring young changemaker and proud member of the 2024 Kectil participant cohort. So, thank you very much, Wilfred, to being with us today for today's interview, for today's discussion. And yeah, let's get started to discuss more about you, about your journey, your experience, your background, and welcome one more time, you. And can you start by sharing a bit about your background and what motivates you or passion for you for youth empowerment?
Yeah, so thank you, Alexandra, for me. It's a really pleasure to come before you. Yeah, about my background, I am the first of my parents' children. Like, I'm the first son, first child. And, growing up was really experiential for me because I was always going astray as a little child. And my mom, she was always ready not to spare the rod, which I never loved. But thanks to mommy, I am a better version of Wilfred today. Yeah. But something about Lucky Dube in his song, there's a song called Born to Suffer. So there's that part that sings like this: without the parents, children suffer.
Wow.
Without the mothers, they'll be born to suffer. So this simply means that the children of today, whom will be the youths tomorrow, constantly need someone to talk to, someone whom will be a guide over their lives, someone they can run to, someone who is not going to criticize them. I want to be like a father to many youths, correcting them where necessary and to draw them into my arms with love. That's it for me.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I guess our first guest that started to singing something. Thank you very much for that. I guess you need
Okay.
to think more. You have a really nice voice. Thank you very much for that. Okay, great. So let's move to another question. And as some, as some who's also starting volunteering work, who's doing a lot of great things for the youth, for your community. How do you balance everything that you are doing? What is your secret of time management? Can you please share with us a bit?
Yeah, about studies, my personal life, and volunteering. So it's really not easy to balance those things. So what I do is I take out 16 hours a week. So on Tuesday is more like a lecture-free day for me, and on Fridays, so I do my 8 to 4 volunteering. So I volunteer with the Federación Internacional de Abogadas. In English, it is translated as International Federation of Women Lawyers. So we're into advocacy for the rights of women and the girl child, promoting and protecting the rights. I also double up with Enactus Worldwide. So Enactus, it's called Entrepreneurial Us. One of our recent projects had to do with a biogas, like setting up a biogas in one of the rural riverine communities within my state in Mekong community. And so that's what my outside my 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on other days, this is what my typical Tuesday and Friday looks like. And that's how I try to balance it because nobody is really busy. We just have to devote time for the things we love and the things we want to set to accomplish. That's it.
That's true, but to be honest, I'm always busy because I have a full-time job, I have some projects, I have my some little, little work that I'm doing only by myself, and also some time with
Well,
friends and family I need to spend.
yeah, I did not add that no one is busy except Alexandra for me. Every other person is busy, but she's the only busy one.
Because I am doing a lot of work. I'm working so hard sometimes, but of course I have time for reading the books, for doing some hobbies that I have. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's really quite nice. You are talking really valuable thing, and I guess all our viewers today will be inspiring motivation after you, and maybe they will ask you to be their mentor. Why not? That would be nice, really. And how many projects do you have right now that you're volunteering, you're doing something except your studies and work?
Let me start from, they said women first. So I'll start with the one that has to do with women. All right, so there is FIDA, International Federation of Women Lawyers. So what we do is the typical advocacy and free legal clinics. I am more like an APS, advocacy policy and sensitization officer. So what my typical schedule on Tuesday looks like at FIDA is I go to the office in the morning and then just put up the case files and everything in order, check the logbooks if there are cases for the day. So I'm like, because I am a volunteer, so I'm like one of the low level staff there. So middle and top level management are the core legal persons there. There are all legal persons. There are law students working there. And then there is the sexual and gender-based violence unit of Akwa Ibom State working in collaboration with us. So we get to look at these things, and every day we treat cases where you have young girls come in and then there are marital issues. You have even elderly women come in, some who were battered and beaten by their husbands. They got swollen eyes and stuff like that. So what we do is we seek redress for them. We call a mediation between both parties and see how we get these things such that the lady, the woman or the girl or the young lady involved gets her right, and then the other person sees how he, you know, help restitute to some level, and we ensure that these things do not happen again. When it gets beyond our hands, I mean, if the situation is so grievous and wow, no, this we cannot handle, what we do is that we liaise with the commissioner of police, yeah, and then the police handles such a situation, and when they're done, they bring it back to us, and then we put it head on. But yeah, at Enactus, so what I do at Enactus is more of climate change, climate resilience, like the biogas projects. So this is us converting biodegradable waste, your vegetables, poop, like the cow poop, dungs, and all of that. We put it in a local biodigester. Local biodigester we make out from a local rubber, yeah, PVL, yeah. So we put in a local biodigester for days and weeks, and when it gets to accumulate the methane inward, there's a lot of transmission and processing we do with some connections, and then we have gas to cook. You know, so we thought this project wise to work in rural communities and especially riverine areas where fishing and smoking, more like the smoke fishes, because fishing is their major occupation there. So this thing really works there to help mitigate the inhaling of excess carbon monoxide from using firewood, and you know it's really disadvantageous to their health. So that's what it looks like. And for at Enactus, I am the programs coordinator, so I'm always in charge of the programs and the running around. I got a couple of videos I would share in the long run if you also would want to see, yeah, how these things are done.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, you're also so busy person, as I see. You have quite a lot of work and a lot of responsibilities that you're doing really great. And I guess that you're doing in the really great way with your own some lessons, rules that you learn. That's appreciable. But yeah, let's move on to another part of our today's discussion. As you're the Kectil participant, I also will be glad to discuss with you about the Kectil program. So how did you first hear about the Kectil program, and what inspired you to apply?
All right, so Kectil, this is how it started. It was one of those days in school. I believe it was in the evening, where I was trying to look out for a local scholarship I could apply for, so that at least I'll have money in my pockets. Okay, so I got a message from a friend on WhatsApp, and he said, "Hey, Wilfred, can we talk?" I said, "Yes." And so he called me like a WhatsApp call, and he said, "So there's this program I want you to apply for." Prior to that time, I never heard anything about Kectil. So he said, "It's Kectil." I said, "What's Kectil?" He said, "This is Kectil. This is what it looks like. This is you going out from the local programs you do. This is you going beyond, traveling the world virtually, and then meeting, connecting with people, share experiences." I'm like, I said, "Okay, so why don't you apply for it? Why do you want me to apply for it?" He said, "Yeah, because you're doing good stuff, so probably it could give you an edge over others." And then she's known somebody in my uni, or he's known somebody in my university who had applied to the Kectil program. And I'm like, okay, so I'll give it a shot. But when I checked the whole application, it was a really long process. I was like, okay, fine, let me try. And I got to apply for Kectil, but that was not just it. I never regret being part of Kectil. Yeah, it all began with the beautiful persons I got to meet. You know, I've made lots of friends from Kectil, and I've learned a whole lot of stuff. In fact, there's this most impactful lesson from Kectil. It was the authentic leadership. There is that speech by Martin Luther King that reminds me of one day where I'm going to be the old for the new to spring. So, you know, in order to ensure that my transition to being the old has positive memories, I should be willing to serve. For he that must be the greatest must first of all be a servant. that has always sink into my head. And experience-wise, it has been all about connecting with beautiful souls globally. So now I have friends from Afghanistan, that's Tamana Kazimi. I have friends from Lesotho, that's Dia Layako. I have Nalova Annabelle from Cameroon. I have Mohammed Shfaq from Sri Lanka. It's beautiful. And I have you, my boss, Alexandra from me. Yeah, it's beautiful. Kectil is great. I love Kectil. Yeah.
Great, great. Thank you very much. Yeah, you're completely right. From the Kectil, we all take quite a lot of lessons, quite a lot of friends. And right now, even sitting in our cities, uh, in the different continent, we can talk together. We can even meet virtually. Even I believe that one day we will meet in person, and that's really great opportunities that Kectil open for everyone who is ready to take some advantage of it. And yeah, you already shared about the lessons, but maybe do you remember some of the like remarkable moment from the Kectil program ASAP assignments? Maybe there was something that really impressed you and you learned something or get some insights. Could you please share some specifics, maybe some specific moments that you remember?
There's a lot of strong and positive memories, yeah, in Kectil. When we share our stories as friends or colleagues in Kectil and our challenges, it's really so easy to relate. The thing is, we've gone beyond the whole assignment thing, the whole work thing to connect emotionally. And that helps sharpen our emotional quotient. And just as we share our challenges, we also celebrate our endeavors. I know you don't know this, but more often I also get to see the creative sides of my friends. People like Tamana Kazimi. You've not really seen her masterpiece. Her artwork is so splendid. And then like Nalova Annabelle from Cameroon, she's really a logical person. She's a law student. So when I have these challenges, we go meet, we talk, and then we just can relate from that distance, and then we solve our problems outside assignment one, assignment two, assignment three, assignment four, and outside Kectil. So I'm like, oh, Kectil, thank you. You brought these good people into my life. Keep your assignments. I'm going with my friends. Same thing goes with Mohammed Ishfaku. And so with one of my friends from Nigeria, Alex Ifesinachi, after our first two assignments, we had a proposal. He proposed that we should have a Med Connect, yeah, where people within Africa will have access to healthcare practitioners virtually. Is it just as Kectil program is? So the idea is to incorporate pharmaceutical students and experts, young medical practitioners, and we link them up on the platform for each pool so that they can provide health tips and up-to-date health awareness for those who need it. And sincerely, we hope that this can even reach the rural area. So you see, it's in
Oh,
motion,
that's
and then
great.
by God's grace, we're going to execute it. This is
Oh,
courtesy of
that's
Kectil.
great. That's really nice. That's really great. And by the way, I want to mention for all our viewers that's watching us today that, yeah, with Alex, we also record some videos on our YouTube channel. So you can go and see some videos,
Yeah.
some tips and lessons from Alex on our YouTube channel. I believe that you will like it. And don't forget to comment it and share it with your friends. It is really valuable, inspiring speeches. So yeah, please follow up us and we will get more and more videos from Alex and not only. So thank you very much, Wilfred, for sharing that. It's really, even I started to be more motivated to do more things that I'm even doing right now. You are
Yeah.
really powerful, like public speaker person, and I really enjoy the way that you're sharing your thoughts, your stories. It's really impressive. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for sharing about the Kectil in such way for our viewers. So yeah. Let's move on to another part of our conversation, more about you, about your experience, your vision. And you mentioned in your bio that seeing untapped potential in youth from served communities. What are some of the key challenges they face, and how can this be?
By nature, I come from an underserved community. It's really a riverine community. And so I can relate. One thing, one of our limitations has to do with infrastructures. There is low to zero infrastructures and no human capital development whatsoever. So we only thrive. I mean, if you really want to understand when Charles Darwin said survival of the fittest, you need to look at youth in untapped riverine areas. They live out of their creativity. Everything they do is a function of their creativity, and they survive. Their typical life is they wake up in the morning, they go to fish, and it revolves around the fish. They go firewood, they go hunting. They do not have schools within their community, right? And these are very practical people, and all their lives they survive and by being creative. So that said, one thing they need now is education, not just any education, but an education that allows them to express their creativity. They may not be willing to listen to all the theories we teach in school, but for sure, they are raw talents. And we don't want their lives to leave Earth with so much dormant value. Wouldn't be nice at all. So I can't do this alone. It has to be a collective effort. There's no one man who can do it alone. So in this case, I always say that I need a team, we need a team, and then we can bring the vision to the board and ensure that this happens. I mean, on a larger scale, and glory to God. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And what kind of opportunities or resources do you believe can unlock the hidden treasures within these communities?
Yeah, like I said, first thing is education. These
Or like,
communities do not have schools. Yeah, they do not have schools whatsoever. And even if they have to go to schools, they would have to go miles to attend the school. So they do not have a school within their catchments. And why is that so? Because there are no infrastructures that could accommodate teachers to come stay with them. They are not, most of them are not connected to the internet, let alone having schools around. For you to access most of these communities, you could drive in a car and then you have to park your car miles away and have to come in through a bike or a bicycle in order to get to these communities. Sometimes you need to park your bike or bicycle and have to use a boat to cross the water to get to these communities. So there are no schools, there are no education whatsoever. Therefore, they are not given opportunities. And therefore, we cannot have much of these potentials realized. So like I said earlier, the one thing they need is education, but it just does not have to be any education. It has to be one that allows them to express their creativity because they're really practical persons. It's not the education that focuses just on theory. Well, that is good, but these are people who could make the best of engineers in their society. All their life, they live creatively. They try to solve their problems because nature, I mean, their economy, life, whatever, by chance of their existence, it's really not been fair with them. So they need creative education. We need to pull them out. We need to set them on things like digitalization, digital learning, digital literacy. We bring them out of them, give them the opportunities to embrace these things that allow them to express their creativity. I know in Enactors here, in Enactors, like I said, we're searching out this talent into light. So there is this Go Pious e-learning. It's an educational consultant firm. So at Enactors University of Rio, we are into a sort of partnership here where we can select a good number of these youths and it cause them to go through digital literacy. It's one of the way, I mean, among others, where we can, show that we unlock the hidden treasures within these communities.
Yeah, you're completely right about that. This challenge face, I guess, quite a lot of developing countries. Even my own country still face some issues with the educational system. But yeah, I believe that young leaders they will be able to change the situation in our countries. And maybe you are able to share some a success story or moment that showed you the impact of your efforts to so far in such different challenges.
Yeah, okay. So, like I said, we have Go Pious e-learning. We're partnering with them at Enactus to ensure that once in a while we select a good number of them, bring them out and allow them experience, let them get to know what a computer looks like and their way around the computer. Let them see how these things work. And now when we brought the biogas project to one of the communities, and for the first time they were like, okay, so we could generate heat from poop and all the biodegradable stuff around them. It looked like a nice project, but someone asked me a question there. He said, okay, we've been in this community all our lives, we've been cooking with firewood and that, but how come we are going to skip using LPG? That's like the normal propane gas, the gas
Mm-hmm.
cylinder, the one we that. So how come we're going to keep using the LPG and now we're going to biogas? I really was short of words. And so I said, okay, yeah, well, LPG is good too, but we are trying to tackle what we call climate change. And this biodegradable way of cooking would ensure that we tackle climate change to the latter. And you know how he replied? He said to me, that is great, but how can we appreciate light when we've not tried darkness? I said, what do you mean? He said, LPG is more like darkness, and then biogas is more like light. But nobody will understand or appreciate light if he or she does not try darkness. Therefore, the ones are economy where they can afford, they want to buy their own gas. I mean, the gas cylinder, go fuel at the station and use a gas to see what it feels like owning a gas. These are people all their life that have never cooked with a gas. All their life they cook with firewood. This is how they run their life in and out of seasons. They use firewood. They don't know what gas is all about. And now you're bringing something you call biogas. You see the reasoning amongst this kind of people here. So while we made our way through that and then we implemented the biogas project, we let it into the hands of the community members, and today they adopted the biogas and then they're using it to cook. But like, it saves time and it's clean. I mean, clean energy, it allows them breathe even better, and then it cuts down on all of those things they would have inhaled from fossil fuels. So that's it for us, ma. And then in feeder, the child's rights program, we also go for sensitization, the boy child, because HH once said that if we leave the boy child unattended to, there's going to be serious problem in the house. So in as much as we are looking towards the girl child, we should also look towards the boy child and ensure that their mental health and everything is protected and promoted too. These are the kind of things we do, and lots more. I don't do it alone. It's in a group, the power of a group. And so that's how I work.
Yeah, that's true. Really nice point that you brought in the table for just thinking for everyone. Yeah, that's really great. And I'm just thinking quite a lot of work you're doing. And what motivates you to dedicate so much of your time and energy to volunteering work, to the projects that you're doing?
Okay, it's not always the same thing to be a good man and a good citizen. You would agree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have yeah, I have this experience. Do you mind I share?
Yes, sure.
All right. So there was this girl in my 200 level at the university. Her name is Inubong Umorin. If you just type out the name Inubong Umorin on Google, it's going to pop up. She was a first class graduate of philosophy at my University of U. And so, like a week after she was done with school, she received a call from a fake recruiter who said he was going to give her a job. And so she left for an interview. But the good thing is she told her friends where she was headed to. And so she traveled for this interview only to be raped and got murdered by the said recruiter. The recruiter raped the girl and she got murdered in the process, a first class graduate. And you know the funny thing about it? The law were busy playing around with these issues. It was just by the grace of God that they had to attend to this issue, but not for civil societies like FIDA, the Sexual and Gender-Based Violence Unit. This matter would have been shot dead completely, and then justice would not have been rendered whatsoever. But we thank God for these civil organizations like the FIDA and lots more. They took up this matter, and then social actors and even external actors. And he was apprehended, the recruiter, and today justice was meted. But the thing is, the girl had passed on. This is the kind of society we live in, a society where the suppressed the voice of the marginalized. So if you're not a governor's daughter, if you're not a commissioner's daughter, if your father is not the commissioner of police, anything could happen to you and you just be gone like that. Nobody hears about it. Yeah, until you belong to one of those classes. This is one reason I have said in my life that within the short space I live, I would, if I do not fight it, at least I have the voice to talk, and then we'll talk and see how we bring orderliness in our society. This is my inspiration amongst others. It did not come when I was a child. It did not come when I was 10. It came up while I was growing. And when I grew, looking into my society, I see the shortcomings. I'm like, I ought to be a change agent too. And that is what I'm working towards.
That's how I also started to be a change maker. because we have the same situation in our society. And yeah, in my childhood, I was dreaming just to be a teacher or architecture. I don't know. I had different dreams, different perspective of my future, but a lot of things changed during my studying at school. So yeah, right now I'm here today and talk with the greatest leaders from around the world. And one of you is you, Wilfred. It's really a pleasure to talk with you today. And one of the big challenge for everyone who's doing quite a lot of work for the communities, it is inspire other and mobilize them to join your initiative. And here I have a question to you. How do you inspire and mobilize others to join you in creating change, particularly among young people?
Okay, so how do I think you're asking how do I inspire and mobilize others to
Yes.
join our, yeah, it's through outreaches. So in Enactus, what we do on Fridays is that we reach out. It's an NGO at an international level. And so they have their branches scattered in universities in almost some nations in the world. So what we do on Fridays is that we reach departments, we reach out to students. And how we do this is we use the office of the director of information in every faculty. So for every member of Enactus, we have people. I represent the department. So I go back to my department through the director of information and I pass the message. This is what we do in Enactus, and this is how we work towards bringing about the change we so much envisage. That's how we do it through outreaches. We also reach out to people, I mean, students in secondary schools. I have a picture, photo, and videos I could share. One of that we did at the Uyo High School, where we reached out to the a group of students. We took them on eco-friendliness. I mean, how to make a friend out of your environment. We target eco-friendliness. We got to hear from them. They heard from us, and in the end, we told them what our vision was for the world, and they said, how long do we keep saying these things and never practice it? We are trying our best, and we also hope that the government someday, there should be someone at the head there who says these things and is willing to ensure that it is implemented. God help
That's
us.
true. Yeah. Great that you shared this, and thank you very much for the thing that you brought to the table for today's discussion. And yeah, we are almost finalizing our discussion for today, our interview, but still I have a few questions to you. And first
Okay.
of them, it is what advice would you give to young people watching who also want to make a difference but don't know where to start?
Okay. Wow, that's tricky. You know, it's normal in life to, and that's to you out there, to our viewers. It's very normal to want to figure it out, which we never really do. So start with what you have. You know, for that cave we dread to enter usually holds the treasure we've been seeking. You may not know what it is, but you know what you're good at. So if you like to be on the stage presenting in a drama or something, go start from there. Just do what you're good at. That brings others satisfaction and your peace. The next step to take will be communicated by nature to you, and listen to your inner voice. We thrive more. Man is a function of the inner voice. So just do what you can do and listen to your inner voice. Nature will communicate with you on the next step to take. Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very
it.
much. And what is the key message or a life lesson would you like to share with our viewers to inspire them in their own journey?
All right, I love this. I love this quote from Swami Vivekananda. It says, "Anything that brings spiritual, mental, or physical weakness, do not touch it with the tools of your feet." That's my message.
Great, great. Thank you very much. That's really wonderful. And lastly, if you could leave our viewers with one actionable takeaway, what would it be? Except the message that you already leave.
Before I get to that takeaway, I also want you to know that I always stay hopeful and motivated, even when progress seems slow or obstacles arise. That's because I never worry about losing. If it's right, it happens. The main thing is not to hurry because nothing good gets away. But for the viewers, for you, for me, for us, one actionable takeaway I would say is this: pain and suffering are a kind of currency passed from one hand to another hand until they reach someone who receives them but does not pass them on. Let us be that person who does not pass it on. That's it.
Thank you, Wilfred, for sharing your incredible vision and passion with us today. Your commitment to empowering young people and bringing out the best in underserved communities is truly inspiring. And to our viewers, Wilfred's story reminds us that even the smallest efforts can plant seeds of change that grow into something extraordinary. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Kectil YouTube channel for more inspiring stories like this. And of course, you can always leave your questions to Wilfred below this video, and he will back to you with the answers and more even stories that you would like to hear from him. And yeah, together, let's keep working toward a brighter future. Thank you very much, Wilfred, for your time, for being with us today.
Thank you, Alexandra, for me.